Going up, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bag compressor or leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Well, tough team, a storied football program. This year's Commander-in-Chief Trophy winners, the Army Black Knights. We're also joined by Army's football's biggest fans, Bill and Steve of the radio show Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff. Well, thanks for making a trip from Alabama.
Welcome, Army sports fans, from sea to shining sea. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford, and this is Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. And as per usual, we're joined by the human Ouija board, Steve Crikey.
Human.
The human, and Barrett the Dirt Pig Crawford.
Great to be here.
And we will have a surprise guest host for the second half of the show, but we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. Tonight we have an interesting show. We're going to do a little bit of not living on Tulsa time, and then we're going to go into UTSA, and then we have some callers who are going to come in and talk to us. These are some of the folks who are pretty active on our Facebook page, and we'd like their insights, and we want to give them a chance to see what they think is going on this year. So, guys, let's just jump right into it.
Yeah.
And I guess we can hop right into the good, the bad, and the ugly
Lot
of
to dissect.
the Tulsa game.
Yeah, I tell you what, let me just open up, and I think I speak for all of us. This is one that it's good to have it in our rear view mirror. And it's one learn from it as a player. You know, I'm sure they spent it some time, but now let's move on. But yeah, it was one that hurt. I mean, matter of fact, that's a common comment that I heard throughout our Facebook page. Boy, that just really hurt because to have an 11-point lead and to give it up. So when you start, let's start with the good. It's given our turnover challenges early on in the season. We came out on the plus side, and if it wasn't for an errant throw, we would have been +2, but we still ended up +1. So that's something, as we go into UTSA, you need to keep that up, stay on the plus side of the turnover battle.
Yeah, I thought another good. Our time of possession was there. We looked the first half of that game. We looked like a dominant Army team, controlling the football, scoring the touchdowns, making a good 2-point conversion where one could argue we didn't even need a 2-point conversion, but we did it anyways, and it paid off. And so my good was kind of the first half of that game. Cale Helms making some great plays, but yeah, and then the second half hit us.
Yeah. Well,
let's focus on the positive.
Yeah, the positive. Yeah.
Well, my good from that game pretty much was the first 56 minutes. I mean, we won the first 56 minutes of the game. Things were really going in our favor. Kel Helms had almost 120 yards rushing in the first half and completed a few passes. Special teams played well. Everything was looking great. And, when you're up by 11 points with 3 minutes and change left to go.
Yes, sir.
That's one that you order your last beer on because you say, hey, I can close the tab out here in a minute because we're going to walk out of here with a win.
Yeah. And yet another positive, and I too want to props to the guys on the old Rivals site, which is now on 3, but Go Black Knights, in their Monday morning quarterback. They highlighted something I think is really key. Yeah, Army had 2 penalties for 26 yards and 2 penalties, that's quite a bit of yardage. But they pointed out that those were, often are characterized as aggressive penalties. They weren't the pre-snap, jumping or anything like that. It was
delay of games, coming off a timeout or things like that. Yeah,
going, on defense, going after the other guy, taking them on. Those kind of aggressive kind of penalties, maybe. Little hit out of bounds, those kind of things where the team is playing aggressively, and that's what you want. You don't want those penalties to cause them to pull back.
Yeah, and I think another good too. Our special teams did good job. Hands team when it came by, Noah Short grabbed that ball on the onside kick. James Wagenseller did a great job. Dawson Jones did good, but and we blocked a kick too.
We blocked a field goal.
So I give kudos to our special teams as well as a good.
Well, that's going to about run the good right there. And a lot of people say, well, there were so many things that went wrong and the second half. And, really there were not a lot. We actually had some young players make young player mistakes.
Yeah.
And, people were saying, oh, Kel Helms, he threw the ball up for interception. And I put on our Facebook page, how many of you out there in radio listening land have had 200-300 pounders in your face and you have a split second to make a decision and you maybe make the wrong one?
In a video game.
His first year. But his
again,
first year starting.
Yeah, first year.
Exactly. The part of the maturation process for a quarterback is you got to know when to eat it, when to throw it away. The old Kenny, what his name, Kenny Rogers, know when to fold them, kind of thing.
And know when to hold them.
Walk away.
And know when to run.
And that was one he probably should have eaten or, just thrown it at the line of scrimmage, those kind of things. Try to find someone, but hoisting down there, in hindsight. And I will tell you, just as a sort of caveat up front here, I am always very reluctant to question play calling because it is the easiest thing in the world, with my adult beverage in front of me to look up there while I've just finished, whatever lunch I've just eaten, comfortable, all that kind of, and to go, wow, the outcome of that play was bad. Ergo, that was a poor play calling. And again, a typical coaching staff has people up in the press box. Their sole purpose is looking for trends, looking for how the defense responds to certain plays. And again, a lot of it's a chess match. It's I'm going to do these two plays, not because I think they're going to be effective, but it sets up this third play.
Yeah.
It's all those kind of chess matches, and sometimes you guess wrong. And so I'm real reluctant to do that. But the thing I will say is Monken, again, he's got the leadership gene, and a lot of people, bonehead call on going for fourth down, but as a leader, he knows whether or not you get that first down, going for it, what you communicate to your team through that decision. That I believe in you. I believe you can do this, and it's that kind of undercurrent that cultivates. That will serve the team well going forward.
And, people are saying, oh, well, why did we go for it on fourth down deep in our own territory? Well, that play was and Maxwell Smart missed it by that much from not only getting the first down, but from being a big gaining play.
Just barely tripped up.
Just barely
the
tripped
proverbial shoestring tackle.
Yeah.
And he had it was a good call. It was the right call. And I was actually at that point, I was listening to the game on the radio, and I think Rich DeMarco nailed it when he said, Coach Monken wants to win this game right now on his terms. And it just damn near worked. If he would have got the first down, the clocks ran out. Now, there was one little mental error, and that was Noah Short not going down and running out of bounds towards the end of the game. But, those it's easy to be the man on the couch, not the man in the arena. You ought to write a poem about this. The man on the couch. The man on the couch can always make the right call.
Oh, yeah.
Given the benefit of hindsight.
I mean, I personally, I am amazing at after the fact, critiques and calls.
Yep.
I'm batting 1,000.
I am too.
On what they should have done.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, if you look at it and you look at the execution, you can put a lot of blame on the offense where, hey, we just need to run down the clock, get a first down, and the game's over. You can put blame on the defense for not stopping them, but overall, I just something happened. Something in the mindset. We just must have gotten out of our rhythm. I did feel like Tulsa's offense in that second half just started going fast and fast and fast and wasn't allowing us to substitute out as much. And I think that may have put our defense kind of on their toes and stuff. But no, I completely agree. It's easy to be an armchair quarterback.
Oh yeah. And like they always say, the other team gets a vote. The other team always gets a vote. And kudos to Tulsa. They played their hearts out. So I can't fault them. One of my big concerns with this game is I had seen a positive trajectory on the defense over multiple games. And I'm thinking, man, we're peaking at the right time. And the defense, I don't know what, maybe it was something on the academic schedule were social papers due, but they just looked slow and fatigued for much of that game.
And, their running back, who was not really all that hot, looked like somebody had kidnapped Derrick Henry and put him in the backfield because we couldn't get that guy down. So I do believe we need to get out of here for a break, as our producer, not Brody, John, is nodding his head and saying, shut up, Crawdad, let me take a break. So I'm going to shut up, Crawdad, and take a break, and we're going to put Tulsa in the rearview mirror. Goodbye.
That's all we got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. All right, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back in a couple of minutes to start talking about the meep UTSA Roadrunners.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
This is Bill Crawford with Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Firehawk Aerospace is a non-traditional defense contractor advancing the state of propulsion to strengthen the U.S. Defense Initiative. Founded in 2019, Firehawk Aerospace established early leadership in manufactured propulsion with the development of 3D printed hybrid rocket fuel grains. Visit firehawkaerospace.com to learn more. That's firehawkaerospace.com.
If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go Higher and go Army.
John Abraham here for the parts department at Bobcat of Huntsville. Not only do these guys carry genuine OEM Bobcat parts, they also have a full line of Marshalltown concrete supplies. On top of that, they have a wide selection of arborist tools and supplies on hand for you tree guys. Bobcat of Huntsville also has a full service department, and don't forget the sales and rental guys too. Come on down and visit the all-new Bobcat of Huntsville location in Madison on Highway 20 next to the Redstone Harley-Davidson.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
This is your home for Alabama football.
Jam Miller, the running back, will get the handoff. He'll stay on his feet. He'll turn it up. He'll go down the sideline. 10-5, touchdown, Alabama. Jam Miller, icing on the cake.
This is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. Guys, get your eyes off those TVs, put your headsets on, and let's get down to business. And before we before we get started, just a couple of words about our sponsors. For my little knee stem cell procedure, I went to the Tennessee Titan game with Barrett, and probably, Barrett, I bet we walked.
You were hopping up that stadium.
I was hopping up those stairs, man. Stem cell stuff works. And also the interest rates are about to drop, so you need to go see Brian Hammaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. And they will treat you right. I know they've done both Barrett and mine's mortgage. And the other thing is that Nick's Ristorante, now is the time to start making your Christmas plans. We've already made ours.
That's right. We've got ours booked.
We got ours booked, and it's going to start filling up fast. So now let's talk a little bit about this big game this week. We now sit at 5-5, and with a win, we have number 6. And what does that mean?
Bowl eligibility.
We're going bowling. and this is going to be a tough one. UTSA, the Texas San Antonio, the Roadrunners. I don't know really what to make of them, Steve. I see what you got on the green sheet, but they're kind of an up and down team. Sometimes they beat the crap out of people, and sometimes it's the other way around.
A little unpredictable, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like we beat Temple, they lost to Temple. Yeah,
they beat Tulane.
Yeah, sort of a mixed bag. But one thing that Monken pointed out in his presser at the beginning of the week was that UTSA has the best home record in the FBS, I want to say over the last 3 to 5 years. So they are tough in the Alamo Dome. There's a reason right now that we are touchdown plus to the bad against them. But they've got a solid defense. Their quarterback, he's not a dual threat. He doesn't run. We were just talking about it. He's got 35 rushes for 7 yards.
Yeah.
For a whopping average of 0.2 yards a rush. But he's a very capable thrower. He's not a deep ball threat, although he's got a couple of those to his credit. But they are, chip away at you, quick outs, quick slants, running backs coming out of the backfield.
And that scares me.
Yeah. And so, like we almost talked about, like with Tulsa, with that kind of passing attack, you stop it one of two ways. Number one, you get pressure on the quarterback, or you disrupt the timing of the patterns, because most of those patterns are all timing patterns. It's 1, 2, 3, boom. And so you've got to disrupt one of those things. So either Nate Woody needs to be dialing up a whole lot of blitzes to get that pressure up there, or conversely, they need to stuff the receivers at the line of scrimmage.
And I would go ahead, Barrett.
Oh, no. I was going to say the UTSA's quarterback is the real deal. Yeah, he doesn't like to run it, but they played a very tough East Carolina last week, who was getting mentioned. We're looking at the TV because it's got the college football playoff. They were getting some mentions for the college football playoff if they won the American, but UTSA blew them out, and 90% of their touchdowns were all on passes. So we got a homework assignment for the defensive back coaches to figure out the pass scheme that UTSA is going to run, eliminate those short passes, eliminate the big passes, but ultimately just, get that quarterback scrambling so we can take him down.
And, that was kind of an unusual scenario last week, speaking of quarterback scrambling. I mean, sometimes to me, it looked like when we were trying to tackle the quarterback, it was like Dancing with the Stars, just now they were doing the rumba or the Watusi or whatever, and they had the quarterback, and then he'd fall backwards and throw a great pass. We need to improve our tackling. Bottom line, we need to improve our tackling against UTSA.
Yeah.
They've also got 2 running backs. Steve, you mentioned it. One guy's got 1,000.
Oh, yeah.
Almost 1,000.
Yeah. Robert Henry Jr. is on the cusp of 1,000 yards.
983.
And both he and Will Henderson III, both they're their top 2 running backs. Between them, it looks like they've got almost 1,800 yards, and they average, each one of them individually, average 7.1 yards a rush. So their rushing attack is their, but they use it very effectively to set up the pass.
When you think about it, you got a guy that's getting 7 yards a clip every time he touches the ball. What else do you need to do?
Yeah.
Give him the ball 2 times. It's a first down. So,
yeah. But I tell you, looking at the stats, an area where they are vulnerable, and unfortunately, it's not necessarily an area where we've been really strong this year. Their passing defense, both their team passing efficiency and their scoring defense and passing yards allow, they are very vulnerable through the air. So we just need to figure out, again, we got to play with what we've got and who we are. We are a running team. But we've got to be very efficient with those passes, and that's a real vulnerable. They're going to be going all in, 8 men in the box to stop the run. We need to play that to our advantage. I loved our 2-point conversion against Tulsa, where we got the tight end involved in the passing attack. I'd love to see that, that drag pattern with the tight end coming across. I'd love to see running backs in the passing game. When was the last time we threw a screen?
Yeah. It seems like most of the passes that Cale Helms does and that's drawn up is those big deep balls, to Noah Short or Brady Anderson, which is great, especially if it
works,
if it's the Air Force game and you get it all the way down the field. But yeah, that 2-point conversion where they kind of more bootleg plays, more passes out to the end and all that would be great. But yeah, I hope our offensive coordinator is not looking at that and saying, oh, they kind of stink on the passing defense, let's throw a lot of passes and stuff. Like, no, we don't need to do that.
Well, that's a very good segue into the keys to victory, which we're going to talk about now before we leave the Roadrunners to take some calls. And my key to victory, my main one, I think is kind of what you guys were alluding to. We got to get a little more creative on offense. We cannot do Cale Helms left, right, and up the middle. We need to start getting the fullback dive back incorporated into the game, get them to respect that, do some option stuff to the outside. And Steve, I would love to see us throw a few short passes to backs out of the backfield, to the tight end, to receivers on the slant. Everything does not have to be a bomb, a 50-yard ball to Noah Short or Brady Anderson. So my key to the victory is offensive creativity from Coach Worley. We know he can do it.
Yeah, my favorite line from, or one of my favorite lines from Remember the Titans, Coach, sometimes you got to throw something at them that they're not expecting. If we did seem, and again, we're not up in the press box, we don't see all the little nuances, but from the armchair quarterback, it did look like we were getting a little predictable. So I think again, don't want us to throw a whole lot, but I think a key to the game when we do throw, we have to do that very effectively. One of the big differences between these two teams, the Roadrunners are in the bottom. They're in the basement of the FBS when it comes to penalties and penalty yardage. If we can continue to play disciplined ball, allow them to be the ones to make the mistake, to give up those big plays, I think that plays to our advantage. Both of us are in top teams in the country when it comes to time of possession. We must win that time of possession.
Yeah, I think my big key to the game is to eliminate the big plays on the scrambling quarterback. So for Army defense to basically lock it down and not give up those, we're blitzing. We got the quarterback on the ropes. He's looking like he's distressed, and then he makes a miraculous 50-yard throw. We got to eliminate those big plays, and just overall defense has got to step it up from when they did from the second half against Tulsa.
Well, we're fixing to get out of here, folks. I'll give you my final key to the game, and that's this. When we're playing defense, we're not looking for 10s from the judges on Dancing with the Stars. When you knock the taste out of people's mouth, stop waltzing around with them and take them to the ground. So we are going to go ahead and get out of here, and then we've got a surprise guest host coming in, and we're going to take some callers from some of our favorite participants on our Facebook page. Take it away. We're gone. We'll be back in a minute.
Don't you wish that you had some secrets to help you get an edge on your business competition? Wouldn't it be great if someone could solve challenges at your company that you don't have the time or expertise to fix on your own? You know, there is a solution. Higher Echelon is a world-class consulting firm based in Huntsville that trains employees in sports psychology secrets to drastically improve work performance. Founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and has put that experience to good use. Higher Echelon helps organizations shave hundreds of hours off work time by improving processes, and Higher Echelon helps organizations save and make more money by walking them through technology updates and implementations. You don't have to go it alone, and you don't have to stay stuck. Higher Echelon is a trusted partner in organizational excellence. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com today to take your company to the next level. Go higher and go Army. Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit northalabamamortgage.com for more information.
This is Bill Crawford with Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Firehawk Aerospace is a non-traditional defense contractor advancing the state of propulsion to strengthen the U.S. Defense Initiative. Founded in 2019, Firehawk Aerospace established early leadership in manufactured propulsion with the development of 3D printed hybrid rocket fuel grains. Visit firehawkaerospace.com to learn more. That's firehawkaerospace.com.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities, because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
The Tom Abraham Show. Weekdays beginning at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford, and this is Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff, along with Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board. And now we are joined in studio by my favorite and my only son-in-law, Kyle Giusevich.
One of one. It's on my evaluation.
Yes, my favorite.
Class of 2015, father to my grandson, Walter, and a very knowledgeable Well, that's true. Very knowledgeable Alabama and Army football
Alabama fan through marriage.
He's
it
a
was
dual
in our
threat.
vows.
He's a dual threat.
So, Kyle, welcome aboard, and you feel free just to jump in as we go along. But right now, we're going to talk to some guests who are pretty frequent posters on our Facebook page. The first one we're going to bring in is Mike Beans. Mike Beans, my classmate from 1980, former Army football player, defensive back from the great state of Alabama, and a great American patriot and human being. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing great there, Crawdad. Got any better, I couldn't stand it.
Well, hey,
I tell you what. While Bill is already slobbering all over you, Mike, I was going to say the highlight of my week, what I look forward to coming off of a game weekend, is your things you like and things you don't like about the Army game. Always insightful, and you bring that player expertise to it. Love that.
And so let's pull on that thread just a little bit, Mike, and maybe not necessarily so much picking on the Tulsa game, but what are some things that you like that you've seen out of the Army team this year?
I tell you, Corey, one thing I've seen that has definitely improved, and I think they've come not a long way, but really make great improvement. Really, is the offensive line. We lost a lot of great guys off that group last year. And an offensive line takes a lot of time to develop and grow because, the communication and being able to work as a unit. And so I think that group has really come along as we've gone through the season here. And I think we've got great things to go from them as they kind of continue as we work with that. I think they're getting better and they're keeping us competitive in these games. And because really, I tell you, that's really what I watched the first quarter and a half of the game. I look at the line of scrimmage and I watch our offensive line against our opponent's defense. And our guys are getting there, and we're improving in that area. That's one area I definitely see that we're improving. I think that I like. The other thing that I think that also that I like is as the season's going on is really our kicking game. It's come on. We saw this week. We blocked that field goal. That was a big part of that when we were playing Tulsa, and then even our place kicker. Had a rough start with that first game, but I tell you, he is really starting to step up as we go on with the kick he made against Air Force and the kick that he made against Tulsa. So I see that part of our kicking game really starting to help us as we go along. So those are a couple things that I really like that we got going.
Hey, Mike, Kyle here, the not quite a celebrity guest in the third chair, but taking a look at the psychological aspect from your former player days, how do you rebound at this point in the season, not quite playing the way that you want to up to this point, but still having the biggest game of the year on your schedule? I mean, the game against Navy, December 13th, M&T Bank Stadium, you've been to Baltimore before, you've played those grounds. How do you stay composed and cool and stay focused from week to week, knowing that your best football, if you're not there yet, needs to be on that second Saturday in December?
I think the key part, what you have to do is, and I think it helps when you get to those bigger moments, you really have to stay in the moment. And you have to stay at the task that you have at hand. And each week we'll have challenges with games we've played. And then I think individuals or players, you have to say, what am I going to do to be able to get the best of myself as we play? So, but the key part of that is really kind of stay in the moment. You can't start looking ahead. You can't worry about games that you've had or things that didn't work as well. But you have to just stay in that moment, stay in that your preparation, stay with your process that you go about. Because when you get into those bigger moments, that's what's important. Because that's what's important. It's really just making that next play or being a part of that next drive. And I think if you keep that focus, stay along your process as far as preparation and your film study and things that you have to do, Then when those bigger moments come up, and you're right, that big moment we've got coming up in Baltimore against that school I called in Annapolis.
The boat school. Yeah.
So that'll become, but I think you have to kind of stay, you can't get ahead of it.
Okay.
We don't need to play Navy now. That task will be coming on.
Yeah, Mike, I'd like to pull that string just a little bit more, and especially coming off of, I mean, I forget who on our Facebook page made the comment, that, we as fans, that hurt. It was disappointing, but he pointed at, for the players, ratchet that up 10 times.
On senior day.
Yeah, on senior day. So, given that, and in a perfect world, we can sort of go ahead and look ahead, leave it behind and that. But, going back to your playing days, when you come off of a really disappointing loss, in this case, had 11-point lead, really thought we had it in the bag, and, just a couple of little critical mistakes, and we're on the, on the losing side of the column. So going back to your playing days, how do you work past that and not only not allow that to drag you down, but to head into next week going, we can win. We got this.
Well, I think what you have to do first, I think you really have to have a period where you really reflect on what happened, as we're talking about last week against Tulsa. I think there's a part of that time, some coaches say you're talking about got 24 hours or whatever that is, but you need to kind of look at that and then capture and say, okay, this is what happened during that part of the game. And here's what was my portion on it. And I really you have to think about the things that really you can control. And so that's the piece that you look at. So you take a time to reflect on it. I don't think you just push it aside. You got to say, okay, here's some areas where I know that I could have been more competitive, or here's some areas where and then you try to embrace that. And then you look at that, and then as when you go into your next preparation, your next task you go on, then you have at least you've taken that look. Look, the players are disappointed for that game last week. There is no doubt about it. To lose any game is bad, but to lose that game, and especially for our seniors, it is. But they've kind of got to look at it. They got to reflect on it. But then they've kind of got to go and they've got to move on quickly, because the next task is coming up, and we've got a tough team that we're playing next week with Texas San Antonio, and you don't want to repeat anything you had by looking in the past.
Hey, Mike, I got a question for you, kind of reaching back to your experience as a pretty good defensive back, old number 20 on the team. You were number 20, right?
Oh, number 30.
Well, 2030. So ended in a zero. At least I got that part right. And I was an old defensive back also. And one of the things I've noticed this year, I was taught in the old Lawrence County Wildcats in Tennessee that you give about a 5 to 7 yard cushion. And it seems to me like we have just been getting our lunch eaten this year on quick passes. And it seems to me, again, with my limited expertise, that we're just giving the receivers too much room. And I think that the other coaches are seeing that and they're taking advantage of it. Am I seeing anything that's real, or is that just a perception on my part?
I'll just be upfront. It's not a perception. It is a fact. And this is where I see it. And just again, this is no inside information. Just look at the games and what I see. The cushion that especially on our corners are getting out there, that's directed by the coaches. The players aren't coming up with that. Players don't do that. Players do what coaches direct. I believe that we're really doing that, at least this time frame, because I really believe that the coaches really don't want to really give up any big plays. And I believe that they are willing to take some of those short, intermediate passes as people matriculate down the field and give on some of those, and not to be able to give up big plays. Now, given that, you still have to you do have to kind of at least change your looks every once in a while. You can play the same defense, but you need to kind of change the look. That'll give some kind of, at least when that quarterback looks like, you don't see the kind of same set pictures you see. So I think there's two things. I think our coaches have looked at our players, and I love all of them. I love all our defensive backs. But I believe they're trying to put them in positions where they can keep things in front of them. They're going to take some chances with blitzes every once in a while where they'll come up and play closer on man. But I think that's where they believe that that's the best way that they can win and we can play. So that's kind of why I see where it is. I think we're willing to give some of those short passes, but we're also willing to change what we're doing in key parts of the field that when we're trying to make a stop.
Just kind of in line with that bend don't break, Army defensive mantra that we've kind of made a living on these past several years. So that definitely makes sense.
Steve, any final thoughts?
Just maybe a quick question. You mentioned UTSA. You're right, very capable team. Bringing your defensive experience to bear there. What do you see in their offense specifically that you actually find? Okay, yeah, this is a team that we can hang with.
You broke up again the first part of the question. Can you say it again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, as you look at UTSA's offense, what do you see there that says, yeah, this is a team that we can compete with?
Well, I think the key thing they put points up. I tell you that they're going to move the ball on us, and I don't think we need to get too excited about that. I think the key part of what we need to do is if the key piece would be is that we go down there, if we can stop them from field goals at times and keep them out of the end zone. I think on the defensive side, that's kind of what we have to do. They're going to move the ball. They have moved the ball on everybody. No one has really stopped them. So that piece, I think, that's what we'll have to do. I think if we can just kind of keep them out of the end zone, make them kick some field goals, take some risk every once in a while to try to get a big play with a blitz or something like that, I think we'll be fine. Well, I do believe the second thing that what we can do is I think we can score on them. Mm-hmm. Their defense is I think a defense that we can kind of take advantage of with our running game. I think we can do that, and I really believe that we can throw on them.
Yeah,
everybody has kind of thrown on them all season so far.
Well, Mike, hey, we really appreciate your time. And folks, if you want to hear more of Mike Beans, just friend Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff on Facebook, and you'll see Mike there. He's an all-star contributor on our Facebook page. So, Mike, hey, good talking to you, my friend. And here's hoping we get those dadgum road runners. And we'll go ahead, John, and get out of here.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. Hey, good being with all you guys. Go Army.
Go Army, beat Navy. All right, John, get us out of here, and we'll come back and finish the show up.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go higher and go Army.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
This is Bill Crawford with Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Firehawk Aerospace is a non-traditional defense contractor advancing the state of propulsion to strengthen the U.S. Defense Initiative. Founded in 2019, Firehawk Aerospace established early leadership in manufactured propulsion with the development of 3D printed hybrid rocket fuel grains. Visit firehawkaerospace.com to learn more. That's firehawkaerospace.com.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Welcome back, Army sports fans. We're going to continue the theme here of talking to some of our key contributors on our Facebook page, and now we have the pleasure of speaking to Sam Burkett. Sam is a grad and a passionate Army football fan. He and I had a chance to chat in person at another tough game, the LSU game. How are you doing, Sam?
Great show tonight, guys. Thanks for letting me be on.
You bet. Well, let's let me just throw it open. As someone who follows Army football in depth and clearly is a student of the game, we're going to sort of snap the chalk line here. We got a couple games remaining here, and hopefully there's still a bowl game in our future. Tell me your impressions of the Army team. Let me give you what is a sort of a good and what are the things that we still need to prove on the last couple of games.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the year, you lose Bryson, you lose the other graduation guys, then the transfer portal hits you. And I think going into the season, we're all very, what are we going to have? Who's going to play quarterback? We get some offensive line things to put together, and how's it going to look? And then we lose the first game in overtime at home to an FCS team, and you're like, wow. And then we beat K-State, so it's been this roller coaster. And if you look at it, we've lost 5 games. East Carolina, put that one to the side, and I knew that was going to be tough on a Thursday night down there. But overtime, led with 2 minutes to go and lost by 7 at Tulane, and led by 11 points in the fourth quarter and lost to Tulsa. So, and we've won some games like that too, obviously Temple and stuff. So I think it's been kind of the roller coaster, for me. And it's kind of like if they give you this, you're not sure, and you're not sure if it's going to be a good year or what kind of year it's going to be. And then they kind of tease you, but by beating K-State or doing some things like that, and then we lose some close games. So it's been a roller coaster. I guess that's the best way to say it.
Yeah, that it has.
Hey, Sam, I think you're absolutely right. This has been a roller coaster season, and also it's been a roller coaster where if I was on heart medicine, I'd have to double prescribe it because some of the games were just so close and, down to the very end. And unfortunately, Some of them didn't come our way. But one thing I know as a passionate Army fan, I want to get your impression of Kel Helms. And what do you think about Kel Helms at this stage of his career versus Bryson Daly at the same stage in his career?
Well, I think, Bryson was running kind of a different offense his junior year, and then we went back to the offense he ran his senior year. I think Bryson's probably a little smaller version of, obviously not as big physically as Bryson was. And it seems like we're almost asking Cale to do more than we asked Bryson to do with the number of carries he's getting and different things. And early in the year, I think one of the coaches, commented that he wasn't making the right reads, and that's why, Coleman was the starter to begin with, and he developed that. But no, I think my three concerns going into the season were quarterback, and I think that's turned out probably as well as we could have hoped at this point. I don't think quarterback play has been the issue going forward.
41 carries against Kansas State for Cale. That's a baptism by fire. That you're gonna learn how to get some of those reads right, especially on that stage, national television against a very good K-State team at that time.
Yeah, on the fourth down carry that you guys talked about that we got stopped against Tulsa. I wonder, he carried the ball already 30 some times. Is he tired? Does he make that play if he hadn't carried the ball as many times? He hadn't run the ball as many times. Is he beat up a little bit? And I kind of wondered that. And you mentioned that too. And I think Coach Monken said it in his press conference, whether we made it there or we punted it, he didn't think the defense could stop him either way. And that's why he went for it. He didn't think the defense could stop him based on what was going on in the fourth quarter. They were just right going through us in the fourth quarter. So
that's a great perspective. And you're right about quarterback. I mean, you think about when we broke camp, Kel Helms was number 3 on the depth chart. And then, that week going into the game, Ethan Washington, season-ending injury. And, and it's tough starting out the season when you really haven't solidified a starting quarterback. And then we sort of did the tag team, and it was really about a third of the way through the season before we really had that stability. So even Helms' maturation was stymied a little bit with that sort of stutter start on that. But looking ahead, so heading down to Texas in your neck of the woods. So
right.
How do you feel about Army going up to UTSA? And as Michael pointed out, they can put points on the board.
I think it's interesting because UTSA does have a great home field advantage, a great record at home. Army has played well in the Alamo Dome against UTSA. So it's kind of a little bit of both. And as I thought about this and before we came on and talking about it, the other thing is as an offense, how much do you want to show? We've been predictable. Predictable. Yep. There's no question we're predictable. Do you want to break that now and show all your cards to Navy? Or are you going to kind of stay what you've been with all year? And if you got something special, we did the little thing with Air Force where we put the 2 tackles out with the ends and split them out and did some different things. Do you want to show that this week? Or are you going to save it? So
even those fourth down looks with some of those passes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. And do you want to show something different? And the other thing is that Monken has been so conservative in Navy games the last couple of years. Is he going to, we're going to be the underdog, there's no question. Is he going to open it up a little bit more this year? And do we have something for him? So I think those are all interesting things. So this stuff. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but just to throw something in there, Morris from North Texas just took the Oklahoma State job today. So,
yes. So we don't have to worry about them anymore, or him anymore. But
and you're talking about he's gonna take his quarterback with him.
Hopefully. Yeah. Just real quick, about us, Army playing well in the Alamo Dome, not only against UTSA, but gosh, it was like 20 years ago we played Texas A&M in the Alamo Dome.
Yes.
And A&M had this big old 311-pound fullback, and I forget who our D lineman was. He breaks through the line, wraps his arms around that guy's thighs, picks him up, and then plants him. And they. I think we ended up losing to A&M only by about 3 points. So, yeah, we do play well.
It went down to the wire.
Yes, it did.
Hey, Sam, we're going to have to get –
Don't mention Notre Dame and the Alamo Dome.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about that one.
We'll let that one go for another day. But before we let you go, and we got to get out of here, give me a prediction for UTSA Army.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think Army's going to pull some things out and go 35-31.
Hey, I like it.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Kyle, give me a quick. Hey, thanks, Sam.
Thanks,
We're going to have to
Sam.
get out of
Appreciate
here.
it.
Appreciate you calling in. Kyle, give me a prediction.
Gosh, Crawdad Nation's not going to like this one, but I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think we're going to keep it tight, but I do think that UTSA is going to walk away probably 28-17.
Yeah, I think we're going to need a near perfect game, but if we can do a lot of those keys of the game, time of possession, scoring on every possession, I see us winning 27-24.
Well, I don't know really what I think, but I think it's going to be tough. I'm going to say it's going to be an overtime game. We're going to win in overtime for a change. Steve, how many days?
Sir, there are 17 and a butt days until Army beats the hell out of Navy at M&T Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland.
All right, folks, and as we get out of here, again, thank my son-in-law, Kyle, for jumping in tonight. And
Thanks for having
as
me.
we always say, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, there's a soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, Coast Guard person, somebody now getting paid, and they're standing to watch so we can live a great life in this country we live. Go Army.
Beat Navy.
Happy Thanksgiving.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Alabama! Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.